Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to talk about something that we all have to face if we fly radio controlled aircraft, and that is what do you do after you've had a hard landing. Now I'm not going to use the word crash ever again in this video, but we've all had them and we all will have them. And I've seen lots of videos out there on what to do and how to put together a foam model after a hard landing. But today I'm going to concentrate on how you go about rebuilding a BALSA model, because a lot of people are put off with flying, purchasing, building BALSA models because they're afraid if you get one of those landings, that's it, the model's lost forever. And that doesn't have to be the case. And what I'm going to talk you through is a rebuild of a couple of models that a friend has that had one of those landings. So here we go. Here we go then. This is a typical result of a heavy landing. In this case, the pilot, I think, tried to go for a vertical landing, but the model's really not designed for that. And yes, it looks a mess, but Roy did the right thing, and that was, he did the first important thing in terms of salvaging a model. And that was, he picked up all of the bits at the site that the model made contact with terra firma, because some of the parts will be usable again and some of the parts will simply go together jigsaw style. This is a little bit more involved because it's a Junior 60 model. It's a stick construction, as you can see. It's well and truly destroyed the centre section basically, and the front part of the plane has taken the main impact. The motor is fine apparently, but the firewall, or this bulkhead here, has parted company with the fuselage. The first thing I'm going to do is strip out any of the electrical components I can get to. I can't take the undercarriage off, unfortunately. That would have helped in terms of setting it up, and I'm going to peel back some of this covering to assess the damage, and that's going to be the purpose of the next video. I'll show you where we are and how things can be spliced together and put together. In the meantime, my friend also brought round another model which was actually a much simpler fix, and that only took a day and a half of fiddling about with it to get it done. And I'm going to show you that model now. In the case of this second model, it's a Dancing Wings Cute Girl. Roy got disorientated and the end result was he crashed the model and the whole front end snapped off. Everything from here was all ripped off. But he had the good sense, as I've already mentioned, to pick up all the parts. And that's very, very important. In the heat of the moment, when you go over to one of your unfortunate landings, the reaction is often just to pick the pieces up and walk away and not spend a little bit of time analysing the area, because you can often find bits and pieces that are very useful. Now, if it was a foam model, you can just put all those parts together and glue them, and it's no different with a sheeted area such as this. So all that I actually did was I pushed together the broken parts. You can just see a break line here. I pushed together the broken parts, held them in place, and then used a very thin CA. And we're going to take advantage of the capillary reaction of that CA, and it floods into the crack, forming a tight bond. You can actually even improve it a little bit more by lightly spraying the area, misting it with water, because CA reacts very well to moisture. That's why it sticks so effectively to your fingers. So I've done that on this side. You can see I've done it on this side. There's one fragment. and here's another fragment, and here was another one here. That was a split, in fact. And then the next stage, this was added on, the next stage is to lightly sand the whole area, because there will be slight discrepancies in the height no matter how carefully you try to put them together. Sand the whole area, but don't blow off or brush off the dust. I'll then go over the joint again, pushing some of the dust towards the crack, and run some more CA into it. And that forms a very, very strong bond. The fibres match in with the surface they're on, the CA reacts to it, and you get a concrete-like bond. So all that's required for this particular model was a light sand. I filled it in with some spackle, very lightweight filler, give it a rub down. That's ready to recover, and I've made a new windshield for Roy because that one just exploded, and that's ready to go again. Very little damage done to it at all. This is a much easier rebuild than was the case with the Junior 60, because that's obviously a stick build. But it's not impossible to get BA BALSA models back in the air. There's no weight being added to that in the rebuild. That'll be ready to remaiden very soon. Thanks for watching now, and don't give up on those hard landings with BALSA models. There you go, Roy. All done. Ready to collect.